So hello everyone, thanks for joining today this open day call about the Master of Research in Science and Management of Climate Change. We are at our 5th edition. My name is Wilmer Pasut. I'm a professor of building physics here at the Foscari, and I'm the coordinator of this master. So briefly, I'm going to present you basically the content of the masters and what we are planning in this 5th edition, so that you can have an idea on how the master works, so what we can offer within this program. So just in brief, the master is divided in two different streams, but there are two different moments. So there is the first period of the master, which we have this foundation, so where there is this set of courses where really we would like to provide you the basic information that you need to start then the second phase of the master, where there are these two streams, where there is the stream in climate economics and finance and the stream in climate modeling and impact assessment. So the foundation, you have the courses in mathematical modeling, programming, statistics, programming and machine learning, introduction to climate dynamics, environmental climate and climate economics, and climate of the past. So basically there are these 190 hours and for 36 CFU. So where you have the chance really to get up to speed with everything you need to start to face the second part of this master. About the two streams, the first one that I'm showing you here is the stream on climate economics and finance. Here you will deal with decision theory and multi-criteria analysis with the computable general equilibrium CGE and integrated assessment modeling of climate change impacts and policies. Apply environmental economics and policy evaluation, domestic and international climate policy, climate and finance, energy system and technologies. The last one, the last course is the same also in the second stream, which is the climate modeling and impact assessment. In this case, you will deal with the problem of climate change and the different tools you need to understand and face this the climate change from a different perspective. So in this case, you will have to deal with the chemodynamics, climate change and environmental quality, climate modeling and monitoring, risk assessment and decision support system for environmental impacts of climate change, adaptive management of natural resources and agricultural system, climate damage modeling and assessment, and then again, as I stated, the energy systems and technologies. On top of this, there are two labs to provide further tools to improve the analysis capabilities that you can achieve at the end of this master. So there is data tools and methods for earth science and environmental diplomacies. So it's clear that to face the topic of climate change and to deal with the different elements of the impact that climate change can have, you need a variety of tools and a very diverse type of knowledge. So the goal of this master is really to provide this diverse knowledge and this richness of tools to face the analysis and face the issues that the climate change may pose. This master is in conjunction with the PhD that is on climate management, on management of climate change. So really the type of understand the type of knowledge that we provide, a very high level knowledge for the people that will attend this master. This also is reflected by the internship opportunities. So there are different companies that with different levels support these masters. And all these companies and all this society, all these different centers are available to support the internship of the students that are undertaking they will undertake the master. So we have this Italian Alliance for Sustainable Development, Carbon Sink, cluster ER, Green Tech, the municipality of Padua, the municipality of Milan, E-Ambiente, E-Nostra, which is a utility company, Fondazione Moressa, Sustainable Foscari, and Terna, which is the company that deal with the managing of the grid distribution, electric distribution in Italy. From an international point of view, we have Climalia, we have Climate Service Center, Germany, Climate Policy Initiative, CMCC, which is the Euro-Mediterranean Center on Climate Change, who's hosting this call today and strongly supporting this, this master. Then we have Marfond, we have Mundus Maris, PricewaterhouseCoopers, and later on you will have the chance to hear Paolo Gentili, who's actually going to talk to you about the activities that PricewaterhouseCoopers does on this field. And then there is South Pole International. A bit the master by numbers, a bit the master in short, just some few information that can help you to get up to speed on this master. So the call will be published most likely in mid-April. We are not sure at the moment about that. There may be some delay, but generally speaking, in mid-April is when the call is published. And you can apply until June 6th. The lecturers will be from September 2022 till May 2023, plus the period for the internship. The requirements, so you need to have a second cycle degree and a good level of understanding of English, so a B2 level is required. There are 15 seats available, so the number is quite small, but to be honest with you, we have been a bit strict in the past with the selection. So although we had several person applying for the master, we never reached really to reach that 15 number, because we try to be quite selective in the selection process. Speaking of which, we perform this selection based on CV, based on qualification, and based on an interview that we will carry on after the call will be closed. About the fees, to attend the master, the fees are 6,000 euros, which will be divided in two different installments. One in August, September, and one that will be in January, if I'm not mistaken. The study support. So we have 3 waivers only for the second installment, 2 of which will be for international students, and 1 will be for Italian students. On top of this year, there will be a full grant plus living allowance for students from Ukraine to support the situation that the Ukraine population is experiencing right now. On top of this, also this year, we have a full scholarship, full grant supported by the PricewaterhouseCoopers. And based on this, we will hear also something else later on. Each grants are based on high level of the candidates. So we will perform this evaluation of CV and qualification to select the candidates that can be accepted for the scholarships. If you need more information, these are the websites. Furthermore, you can contact a couple of former students in case you want to get information on their experience. And also you can always contact me. You're more than welcome to write me, and I'll try to answer you as soon as I can. Right now, I'd like to invite Enrica De Chan, Professor De Chan. She is the coordinator of the doctoral degree. So I like to have her to say a few words on that. Please, Enrica.
Thank you, Wilmer, and good afternoon. Thank you for joining this presentation today. I just wanted to take a few minutes to perhaps give you the broader picture of how this master came about. Because as Wilmer explained, this is a Master of Research, which is fully integrated into the PhD program that we have in Science and Management of Climate Change. So we started off actually more than 10 years ago in 2007 with the PhD program. And at that time, I believe I'm confident to say that we were the first to offer such a kind of program in Italy and in Europe. Also worldwide, there were very few programs similar to the one we are teaching today. And then we started in 2007. Over this period of time, we have graduated about 80 students. And then considering the success, the experience, but also the need, the growing need for professional figures who could go into the job market and not embrace a research career, we decided to launch a one-year program, which is the master we are presenting today. I think it's fair to say that the number of study programs in this area in the field of sustainability and climate change today, of course, it's growing. There are many initiatives, study programs which are emerging, which are rising. But I would like to say that our program has at least two specificities which make it quite unique. First of all, both the PhD program and the master program, they have been created and they came about thanks to the collaboration with CMCC, which is a research foundation. This means that we have really a deep connection and integration with the research community. So it really means that you will be in an environment in which you will have the opportunity to interact not only with the PhD students, other master students, but also researchers, because our master students do have the possibility to spend some time at CMCC to study and then also for their internship. So this is really a specificity that only our program has. And the second distinctive feature of our program, I would say, is the strong focus on modeling and data analytics. You've seen the program, the courses that we teach, and they are very model focused. We teach models to understand climate change, the science basis and dimensions, but also the socioeconomic implication. And we teach models and tools also to think about solutions to climate change. We do that, I mean, not only in theory, as many programs do, but also really in practice. We have a lot of hands-on sessions. We have the labs that Wilmer presented, but also in the core courses, many faculty members teach through practical sessions. So I think these two elements, I mean, really make our program quite unique. Finally, perhaps a third element, it's the very wide network of international collaboration that we have, both for the internships, you have seen some of those, but also if you're more interested, let's say in the PhD program, as a PhD student, you will have to spend at least 6 months abroad, and we have collaboration with the really top university. And when I say top, I mean Harvard, Princeton, MIT. So these are places where our students have been going. We are an international program. We have about 30% of our students are from abroad. In terms of placement, both for the master and for the PhD, I can say that most of our students, especially the PhD student, only about 40% end up in the academia, whereas the other students had a career in research centers or in the private sector. So this is to say that this is really a field in which there is a growing demand for this type of training also in the private sector. And with this, I will hand it over to Paolo, who I believe will bring a real example of how the private sector is going in this direction. Thank you.
Thanks, Enrica. Thanks a lot. So I like now to give the floor to Paolo Gentili. So with a degree in economics and banking from Siena University and master in public policy analysis from Politecnico di Torino, is now director in PricewaterhouseCoopers. In his work, he deals both with private and public sector decision makers dealing with climate change related issues, providing support to ESG policies design with particular focus on net zero strategies and decarbonization roadmaps. For private clients, conduct assessment of energy and environmental footprints and define improvement roadmaps, analysis, energy and environmental markets, including regulatory matters, and carry out investment feasibility studies, advising on grants and incentive schemes. For public policy makers, work on macro and microeconomic evaluation of programs, impact assessment of policy and regulatory measures. So he is PricewaterhouseCoopers Italy ESG climate change team leader, member of the PricewaterhouseCoopers Global Climate Community, member of the steering committee of the PricewaterhouseCoopers Global Renewable Energy Center of Excellence, and a sustainable energy policy expert with more than 15 years work experience with the European Commission. So thanks a lot, Paolo. Thanks a lot for being here with us today, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Wilmer. Thank you, to Enrica, and good afternoon to our candidate students. Happy to be here. Happy to show our cooperation with the master and PhD with Foscari. Thank you for the introduction. I prepared some slides to tell you about our experience in the environmental, social, and governance issues, and with a focus on climate change. I would like to introduce the ESG project platform in PwC. We have an ESG global platform involving all the services of PwC. You know, PwC is a large consultancy firm with an audit, consulting, and a tax and legal services practice. And we have established very recently this ESG platform in order to assist and support our clients from all the industries to tackle the challenge, most of all of the climate change challenge, and to deal with the most pressing problems that they face, following the new wave of commitments needed to try and try and pursue the climate objectives in their respective fields. So the environmental, the ESG is three pillars that you may have heard about. The environmental one, which is the most coherent with the objective and the content of the master and PhD of Foscari we are cooperating with. The social one, which is as well as important, and the governance. Altogether, these 3 dimensions are taking the most of the time of the C-levels, of the chief executive officers, of the chief sustainability officer of any company, because on the metrics, on the environmental, social, and governance metrics, now the reputation of any company is measured, and the feedback, the reputation measured in this way provides the market with all the information they need, the financials, especially financials, the metrics they need to support or not to support a company. So being compliant with environmental, social, and governance principles and metrics now is the most pressing need of any company, and PwC through the ESG platform try and help clients to measure their baseline, or the baseline of their behaviors, and we also support them in designing the pathways through which they can gain points and additional reputation in all the fields. The evolution of the ESG all over the time in the last 15, 60 years, as you may know, was a complex evolution, and I would like to stress that consistently with what I already said in this introduction, sustainability was conceived in also very recently, the beginning of this century, like a cost for the industry, for any manufacturing, financial company, and now after the acquisition of the gravity of the problem especially of climate change, we experience a complete 360-degree change in this perspective, and now pursuing climate objectives is no more a cost, but is a way companies all over the world in all sectors they think they can provide value to the society. So the meaning and the content of these activities are changed and now are felt as the main topic on which not only the behaviors of single parts of companies should be aimed at, but they feed the strategy and the execution of any action in a company, starting from the very top level. So we were used to talk to sustainability officer since some years ago, and now the discussion we have every day is with the CEOs of companies of different dimension, from the largest to the smallest. This is why investing responsibly is becoming, as I mentioned before, the way the market measure the capability of creating value by a company. And all our surveys, all the latest surveys that we annually perform, and all the interviews we make with high-level officers at public level and private level, show that this is the need of the market. It is now the mainstream in the market. Our point of view as PwC is that companies need to reshape their way of living, acting, and also reporting their behaviors and their action in this field in a very structured way, aligned with global standards, with a very significant attention to all the new regulation, international regulation, and in the European Union, especially directives and regulation that are affecting the not only monitoring and reporting needs, but also the strategy of the different companies. And what we do, and I hope that we are going to have the chance to do it with some of you. We support clients from the design of the strategy, the alignment of the operation, and also the reporting. Our platform is made on, you can see on the bottom of the slide, we focus on 4 main pillars. Climate change, which is the part of the platform, the pillar in this platform, where we deal with all the items and all the problems that in the program of the master and the PhD are dealt with, mainly related to net zero transformation. And net zero meaning the pathways, the design and the implementation of action along the pathways leading to the end of century objectives to keep the temperature increase by 1 degree centigrade and establish and fix emission content accordingly to this objective. Sustainable value chain is the second pillar, which is very important for a company to establish. Sustainable value chain meaning the sum of the relationship among different companies, and measuring, evaluating, assessing the emission all along, also the most complex value chain in the industrial domain. And we help clients in this case to evaluate the emission content of their providers, their clients, looking and leveraging the GHG protocol definition and the practices established in this field, and also leveraging the different and aligning to the many alliances, net zero alliances that also in the financial sector are now signed and implemented. Responsible investment deals mainly with evaluating the impact of companies' investment to different stakeholders, citizens, clients, communities, and other economic actors, while sustainable finance deal with new instruments, the possibility of companies to to finance themselves with new instruments linked to their environmental performances. And this is embedded in all our services, from the advisory side, the tax and legal services, and assurance. How do we do it? We used to say from strategy to implementation along this pyramid. We help clients analyzing the context, making the right choices to position themselves in this new sustainability environment. We support clients in designing the action, implementing the action, measuring not only the CO2 emission or the other action linked to social and governance, but also assessing the financial impact for their organization in this pursuit, and at the very end, reporting correctly to the market, following the rules. And in many cases, we have very clear rules for reporting, and in some other cases, there can be a voluntary alignment to such standards, also when they are not mandatory for companies. Now, I would like to make a very quick focus on climate change, because today we talk about climate change issues, and the focus of the master and the PhD is on climate change, which is, I can say, the very problem is a pivotal. So climate change within our ESG platform is really pivotal, and it's pivotal because, as you can see from this picture, this graph that is taken from our yearly publication, the Net Zero Economy Index. Is a publication we publish every year with analysis we carried out from time to time. The decarbonization challenge is really huge. We are not doing what we should do in the overall economy. The pathway to the net zero, so to keeping the 1.5 degrees centigrade decarbonization rate until the end of at the end of the century is not there, while we should be there for avoiding the many risks, the many climate risks, the extreme weather events and climate events can bring to the economy and to people. And as you can see, the pointed lines is the trend that we can foresee today. Why the lines at the bottom are or should be or are supposed to be the more virtuous pathways to be run through. What we do and what we do, thanks also to the professionals we hire from many masters like this, and we would like to add contribution from you after your period in the Foscari master, is divided in four main areas, all together accompanying industrial and financial players in this pathway to net zero. Basically, net zero strategy development, following the most relevant initiative that we have, the SBTI initiative, the Net Zero Insurance Alliance initiative, the Net Zero Asset Owner initiative. So all the international efforts and all the international pacts signed, especially after the COP26. So we work, we sit with companies, we analyze their baseline, we analyze also their capability to get data, to elaborate data, and their capability then to design a proper model to decrease their emission and try to be closer to the more virtuous pathways that we saw in the previous slide. We accompany them through organizational transformation, which is needed in many cases to align to these virtuous pathways. We support them in reporting, and we also, and I think this is of great interest for people like you looking for an advanced advanced learning courses like this one. We perform climate risk assessments, which in some way is a look on the same issues, the issue of decarbonization, but from another point of view. So the impact of climate on companies, while in the other case we look at the impact of companies on the environment. And as you can see, it's a circle. Until now, it has been a vicious circle, but our effort as professional, and I would say also as citizen, is to invert this the movement, the dynamic of the circle, and make it virtuous instead. The net zero, what we call net zero, which is now a sort of password, is the latest step in corporate climate ambition evolution. Until some years ago, we were used to talk about carbon neutrality. So try and from one side avoid carbon emission, but also on the other side leveraging on offsetting. While in the net zero, the meaning of net zero, the very meaning of net zero now is to try and do the best to avoid, to remove carbon emission from the atmosphere and rely on offsetting for a minimal part, and most of all to follow science-based targets. Where when I say science-based target, I mean the targets established under the guidance of the IPCC, of the International Energy Agency, of all the most authoritative agencies and institutions who study, where academic practitioners study the climate change matter, and provide indication to all the economic actors on the most virtuous pathway that we should pursue. And I think there's the contents that you are going to study in this course will be very relevant, because you will be some among the academic and the practitioner studying and providing contribution to this debate. We have elaborated a scheme for a journey to the net zero, also together with Microsoft. Some month ago, we delivered an approach together with them, and we cooperate with Microsoft as well as with many other software companies to create an approach which can be applied in many conditions for the net zero transformation. Going through or dealing with many building blocks, which are all of which are relevant and important for designing a coherent strategy and implement this strategy in a consistently with the ambitions. So to limit the global warming to the 1.5 degree centigrade at the end of the century, with short-term, very relevant short-term objectives, which is halving carbon emission by 2030 and trying to get to zero carbon emission by 2050. And this is the ambition only of the ambition of all of us as consultants, as practitioners, and the ambition of all the companies we work with. Then a sound governance on top is needed, because driving this process is not easy. And what we do is to assist clients in establishing, in designing also the organization in a consistent way, in order to have people with clear management objectives linked to sustainability and environmental impacts, to have checks all along the decision-making processes, and the governance structure is needed to pass from the strategy, which is this point 3 of our building block number 3, in our view, in this model we design, and where the net zero ambition should be embedded and translated into practice. Then we have, of course, the supply chain role. We consider in this building block the supply chain role, and I talked before about the importance and our focus on the sustainability of supply chain, the transformation of the overall organization, and a lot should be done for innovation. Innovation means understanding the technologies which are now available to change our way of producing and distributing goods and services, the R&D process, the innovation processes to test the new technologies, to bring them to the market, and exploit the most from research and innovation in all sectors. I would like to go very quickly to the end to say that we are not only supporting clients to pursue the net zero objectives and sustainability objectives, to fight climate change, but we are also walking the talk. PwC really walks the talk, and in 2018 we designed our own strategy in order to try and mitigate as in the most significant way we can, trying to reduce emission from the energy provision, from the use of energy in all our in the everyday life of PwC globally, with specific objectives for in each country, and as ESG group in any practice we support, we provide an internal consultancy services to our administration to pursue these objectives, and so you can have the possibility to work if you have the possibility to work with us at the end of this pathway of this course. You can see both the work we do in PwC and the work we do as PwC with clients. And we made clear statements on our sincere will to pursue sustainability objectives with clear commitments. Reducing our absolute carbon impact, offsetting all our air travels, this from 2019, totally offsetting, and also cutting all the air travels when it's possible. So choosing or preferring a more sustainable transport means, and sourcing our energy entirely from renewable energy within this year, within this in 2022, and we set our objectives in the different scopes according to and the scopes are defined, of course, according to the greenhouse gas protocol that clearly identifies the different categories of action for any firm. So that's the I hope I provided you with a clear view of what we do, what we believe, our commitment to fight climate change and to deal with all the solutions for avoiding mitigating the impact of human activities on climate, to study and transform knowledge into solution, into, of course, services. And I hope that I'm sure that in this course you're going to find all the instruments, all the knowledge you need to contribute, to participate to this debate, and I hope that I will and we will have the chance to work with you in the future.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot to Paolo Gentili. I'm really glad that you are here with us today, because again, the interest of your company for our master is, again, if there was needed the proof, an extra proof of the interest on the fact that this topic, this important topic, the topic of climate change, is goes out from the academia, and now it's really a reality for what concern companies. And I like to take something about what you said, just the fact that for company pursuing climate objectives no longer a cost, but is perceived as a way to provide values. And so I think this is an interesting takeaway sentence of what you said today. And also was very interesting the part where you were mentioning about the net zero strategy development, because it's more and more clear that really we need to pursue this net zero strategy in every sector of production in our society, buildings, transport, and so on, if we want to try to stay on the path of try to curb the increase of temperature to that 1.5 Celsius. So I'd like to go now if there are some questions from the attendees. I saw that there are some on the chat here. So there is a question that is, can we say that the climate modeling and impact assessment path is mostly natural science based rather than economics? Yes, it's a bit more focused on the environmental science side of the topic. Can we choose or a jury will place us in one of the two? No, you have to choose between one stream or another, of course. Can we switch to the PhD? In that case, of course, the PhD has a selection process. So we had students in the past that did the master and then moved to the PhD, but of course, it's not granted that you can move to the PhD later on. There is a selection process, and of course, you have to undergo the selection process. So I don't know if we have other questions. Also, if you have questions for Paolo Gentili, please feel free to write in the chat, and then we can talk about this. I hope the presentation of today was helped to clarify a bit what we try to provide with our master. Or if Professor De Chan, if you have other topic you want to talk about before to close today's call. Of course, I'm always available for other questions. So the master requires to write a master thesis at the end. Not really. So at the end, there will be the internship. So at the end of this internship, you will have to write a small essay, but it's not really a master thesis.
Yeah, it's just a final report on the internship experience, which counts for 2 credits. So
whether regional scholarship also applies for this course.
What do you mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
This course? As Wilmer said, we have 2 scholarship, partial scholarship, with a priority for non-Italian students. Maybe you can also say that if we fail to allocate those scholarships to foreigners, they will go to Italian students.
Yeah. So
maybe I can just answer. So the internship is 250 hours. That's the minimum required. So it's about 2 months and a half. The master, yes, I mean, hopefully will be on site, in presence. And we can say that also during the pandemic, we managed to meet in a class for quite some time. Now we have this hybrid mode. We teach in class, and we also streamline the lessons, but yeah, we encourage participation in presence.
Yeah, we can make a specific exception if there are specific cases, but for sure we encourage the presence in person.
Of course, you are required to attend 80% of each course, of classes within each course. So if you miss 1 class or 2 classes, it's not a problem.
Is there a reason qualification to apply for PhD program shall be obtained no longer than 10 years before the call? An exemption to the rule? To this?
There are no exemptions, and the reason is that we want to, let's say, give priorities to younger students. I mean, it's a fair cutoff.
Do you have scholarship for international students, especially from developing countries? Yes, we have this partial scholarship that cover the second installments. That is what we can provide. So we had in the past, we have some cases where there were some specific interest from some professors to provide a scholarship or an extra scholarship for students that were available to perform the internship with the professor, but that's not granted, so it depends. Is there a possibility to continue to work with the company or organization after the internship? Generally speaking, yes. So we had several proof in the past of this. So of course, from the organization, the reason for an organization to provide to host a scholar internship is really to get in touch with possible candidates for future jobs. So of course, it's in the interest of the companies to host them. And then if the student has a good profile and is a good match for the company, hire him or her. Does the PricewaterhouseCoopers scholarship apply to students from developing countries? See, any student. It will be just based on the best candidate based on CV and previous experience. So we are not limited to any country.
And of course, those receiving that scholarship somehow commit to do the internship at the company, of course. So there must be an interest in the activities that have been presented today by Paolo.
How long is the internship, and is it a paid one? Generally speaking, it's not paid. It depends on the company if they want to provide some support to cover expenses, but generally speaking, it's not mandatory, it's not covered. It's 250 hours, so you can consider that something in the figure of 2 or 3 months. It depends.
If you don't pass exams, so yes, I mean, we have example also of this situation. You have the opportunity to retake the exam at least once, I believe. It's not like the exams, the regular exam that you take in the laurea magistrale or the bachelor and the master degree, where you have like 2 or 3 possibilities, but yes, you have at least one additional opportunities.
About the schedule for the classes. So as you saw, we have a very dense program. So we don't foresee like focusing all the teaching activities in morning or afternoon or in specific days. We try to have them well distributed during the week, because really the program is can be very demanding and very intense. So we don't have this specific scheduling. After today's meeting, what are the next steps? So there will be the call would be open, then you can please keep your eye on the website, and then you can apply if you're interested, and then there will be the selection. The recording of today's call will be available, so if you want to recap on some information they presented in the beginning, you will have also the chance to see the recording. Shall English proficiency...
Sorry, you can also send a reminder as soon as the call is published. We'll send an email to those attending the webinar.
Yeah, good point. So those of you who attended today will receive a reminder when the call is open. So shall English proficiency be tested by the university, or should we provide a third-party certification? So basically, it will be tested during the interview that we will have. So if you have a certification, that's good, but anyway, that will be tested during the interview. Each candidate will undergo an interview. When will we get to know about the offer of admission for masters?
That will be published. Let me check. Should be published by the beginning of July. So we plan to complete the selection procedure by
So the
July
call
4th.
will be closed the 6th, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
So short after, we will try to perform the selection and then provide the admissions. Are there any research opportunities, possibilities of part-time work at the university in order to support living expenses? Yes, probably you have more experience than me on this, Enrica.
Yes, of course, we had in the past the case of students, especially from developing countries, who work with the professor as research assistant. So I would say that you could try to identify professor who work in the areas of interest and who line up with your expertise, and try to see whether such opportunities can be offered also this year.
There is a question specifically for the PhD, if you want to answer, Enrica.
Yes, so for the PhD, we do value the proposal, which actually plays quite an important role in the evaluation process. Many of those who apply the PhD program are like graduate students who just finished and who do not have experience with research. So my suggestion here would be to maybe you have a supervisor from your master degree, try to get in touch with them, or some professor you've been working with during your master or bachelor, and try to get some support from them or other PhD students.
Okay, so there's again, I mean, there's another question on scholarship from developing countries with answer to this.
Yeah, in case that question applies to the PhD, I can say that for the PhD we have 6 positions which are fully funded. So if you come for the PhD, you will receive essentially a monthly salary, and it will be fully funded.
Does the Italian language is necessary for the job? No, of course, the entire program will be in English. So, and as you saw, we have international collaboration, so you have the chance to perform your internship for one of our international supporters. So, no, Italian is not necessary.
If I may, maybe, so if you're interested in the program and you plan to apply, I guess you will also have the opportunity to attach a cover letter. So should you be interested in the PricewaterhouseCoopers position, maybe you could mention that also in your cover letter, because that maybe gives us a signal. Differences in the application. So the call for PhD is already published, and in the call you can find all the details how to complete your application successfully. The deadline for the PhD is May 2nd. I mean, I don't think we have to go through all the differences. The main difference, if you want, is the proposal. Yes.
I think we may stop here for today. Again, if you have further questions, you can always contact us. Thanks again to Paolo Gentili for joining today, this open day, and thank you all also for attending this call and this open day. So have a nice rest of the day, and hopefully we will get in touch. Thank you.
Thank you.